Okay, sir. A very good morning to all. Today in this class, we will be dealing with understanding the nonverbal data and advertisements. So in this class, we will learn how we should understand nonverbal data and how the nonverbal data is useful to communicate the information. And we will also focus on understanding advertisements. In this class we will learn, so this is all we will learn. By the end of this class, all these the following will be learned. Why nonverbal data and advertisements are used to communicate information. So in order to communicate information, why only nonverbal data? So what is the role of using nonverbal data and advertisements is learned here in this class. And the next one is what pie charts, what bar graphs, what tables, tree diagrams, and flow charts are. So what is the basic meaning of pie charts, bar graphs, tables, tree diagrams, and flow charts is discussed here. And the last one is how the above mentioned in the sense how pie charts, bar graphs, tables, tree diagrams, and flow charts should be answered in the exam. So the last one is completely in exam point of view, whereas the first and second one is least in regard with the exams. So we will move on to the next slide. As it is said in the previous slide, this slide talks about why non-verbal data is used to communicate information. This is the question for the answer. You can see here, right? Non-verbal data and advertisements are used to convey the greater amount of information through the pictures using the less number of words. So this is the specific significance of using non-verbal data and advertisements. You can see it there. So these are used. These, in the sense, non-verbal data and advertisements are used to convey the greater amount of information. Not all of passages and wordy amount. It's not like that. Greater amount of information is conveyed through the pictures, and there will be words, of course, but there will be less number of words. So this is the specific significance of the advertisements and non-verbal data. Now we will try to understand what pie chart, what bar graph, what flow chart, what tree diagram, and what do they basically mean is understood in next slides. So this slide talks about what a pie chart is. See the definition of the pie chart. A pie chart is a type of graph in which a circle is divided into sectors and each sector representing a proportion of the whole. I repeat, pie chart is a type of graph in which a circle, you can see the circle below the matter here, you can see a picture here, circle is divided into sectors. Can you see the circle divided into sectors? Yes, you can. Right. So the circle is divided into sectors and each sector representing a proportion. You can see it there, each sector. Sectors in circle and each sector representing a proportion. See, one sector talks about parige and one other sector agriculture and other sector seasonal work and all. So each sector representing a proportion of the whole. The whole is 100%. So this is what a pie chart basically means. It is a type of graph in which a circle is divided into sectors and each sector representing a proportion of the whole. So this is the example for the pie chart. You can see it there. Income source of a village family. So this is what is conveyed in this pie chart. This is the main idea of this pie chart. Income source of a single village in a single family in a village, right? So there are several means that they earn their income. Around 5 types of income that the family gets here. You can see it there. These are the indications you can see. So what are they? Agriculture, seasonal work, daily labor, selling forest products, and parige. So what is the percentage of income that they earn through agriculture? What is the percentage of seasonal work that they earn? What is the percentage of income that they earn through seasonal work and through daily labor, through selling forest products, and through parige? So this is what is in this pie chart. This is the example. This is only an example for pie chart. In further slides, we will be understanding, we will be discussing, we will be learning more about pie chart. So in this slide, we only learned what a pie chart is and how a pie chart looks like. Let me move on to the next slide. So this slide talks about bar graph. What a bar graph is? A bar graph is a diagram in which the numerical values of the variables are represented by the height of the lines or poles. Right. So here we need to understand the specific term variables. What are variables? So let us understand. Let us try to understand it with the help of the picture below. See, there are 5 variables in the picture. What are they? Variables are the specific contents or articles or areas that are chosen to be compared, chosen to be shown in the bar graph are called variables. There are 5 variables you can see. So doctor is said to be one variable, and scientist, teacher, nurse, pilot. So each one of them is said to be a variable. So these variables are represented by the height of the lines. You can see each variable has its own height. The height of the lines are poles, and their numerical values are calculated with the help of the, what do we call, if the horizontal line is said to be x-axis, if the vertical line is said to be y-axis, so the numerical values of the variables are understood with the help of the y-axis. So this is just in a nutshell about bar graph. So we'll be learning more in further slides. Tables. What are tables? A table is a tabular form of communicating the information in which there will usually be rows and columns. So, of course, every nonverbal data is basically used to convey the information, communicate the information. But the specific role of using these, as I said in the beginning of the class only, so this is used to communicate a lot of information by using less number of words and least the little space, you could say. Right. So a table is a tabular form of communicating the information. You can see the table. So in the form of a table, some information is created reader, in which there will usually be rows and columns. You can see the rows and columns here. So this table talks about the COVID-19 cases. COVID-19 cases of a particular day in India. See, let us try to understand it. There are 5 columns in it, and each column represents a particular area, particular item, particular concept. Let's look into it, what exactly the table means. See, the first column talks about name of the state or UT. So you can see all the names of the states. There could be UTs also. And you can see the second column talks about cases on Wednesday. Particular days cases are shown in this table. Whereas in the third column talks about total cases, total number of cases till that day. So that is spoken in, that is presented in third column. And whereas fourth column talks about recovered, how many people have recovered till that day is shown in fourth column. And deaths, the fifth column talks about the total number of the deaths till that day in particular state of India. So you can check for each state how many cases are there on that particular day, and how many cases till that day, and how many people have recovered till that day, and how many have died till that day. For each state you can learn like that. So this is the tabular form of information. It is one of the means of communicating information to the readers with the help of the nonverbal data. This is just an example in order to communicate, in order to understand what a table basically means. Tree diagram, and the fourth one is tree diagram in nonverbal data. A tree diagram is one of the forms of nonverbal data to communicate the information in which each variable gets subdivided into multiple areas. So there is a slight difference between tree diagram and flow chart. So that will be understood in this class. That will be clearly discussed in this class. So a tree diagram basically means, so there will be a particular area is discussed with the help of tree diagram, and in order to talk more about the same concept, several other concepts are chosen, which are basically part of the primary area. So each variable gets subdivided into multiple areas as the explanation goes further. So this is how a tree diagram looks like, and this is what basically a tree diagram means. You can see the picture. Let us try to understand what the tree diagram talks about. It basically talks about the primary variable is animals. The first thing is animals. The whole tree diagram talks about animals only. But so as part of animals, what all come under animals is discussed here. What all come under animals? Mammals, fish, birds, land, water. So several other concept areas are discussed here. So the first level talks about the types of animals: mammals, fish, birds, and the second level talks about where do they live, right? So you can see mammals live on land and water, and fish, scales, it talks about something else, scales, without scales. And third one talks about birds unable to fly and birds able to fly. So uh, segregation will be taking place as the explanation goes further. So this is what is said in the explanation. Each variable gets subdivided into multiple areas as the explanation goes further. So this is in brief about tree diagram. Flowchart. Flowchart is one of the nonverbal data, one of the means of communicating the information, and it falls under nonverbal data. So let's understand what a flowchart is. Flowchart talks about the process of doing something. Flowchart basically talks about the process of doing something, how an action, how some task is done is explained in flowchart. And a flowchart represents the sequence of actions. The first one says the process of doing something, whereas the second one explains the action sequence of actions in that process, how particular action should be done. Step 1, step 2, step 3, what should be done after that. So each step, each each action is clearly discussed in flowchart step by step. So when we compare flowchart and a tree diagram, so a tree diagram talks about particular area. So in the process of talking that particular area, the primary variable you could call it. So there will be several other issues considered to be discussed, and each variable will be subdivided into multiple areas. Whereas in flowchart, so this is what the main difference between flowchart and tree diagram. In flowchart, sequence of actions only go down in the picture. So you can see one action after the other, and the one action after the other, one action after the other. So one single action does not get subdivided into multiple actions. That does not happen in flowchart, which actually happens in tree diagram. So that is the main difference between flowchart and tree diagram. Now let's try to understand in detail about flowchart. A diagram in which sequence of movements or actions are represented so as to teach the process of doing something or to convey how an incident occurred. So this is what basically flowchart means. A diagram in which it is a diagram basically in which sequence of movements are shown or actions are represented. Why do they get represented? Why are actions represented in flowchart? So as to tease the process of doing something. So what is the target of flowchart? In its target is to teach the process of doing something. It could be booking a railway ticket. It could be booking of a movie ticket. It could be making a tea. It could be painting a picture. So steps of these will be shown in flowchart. The process of doing something is taught in this flowchart, or to convey how an incident occurred is also shown in flowchart. Now let us see the example for. So this is a short example for flowchart. This simply gives you the idea how a flowchart looks like. See what the flowchart is talking about. It's talking about making tea. See, the flowchart is talking about how a tea should be prepared. See, start, put water in a kettle, put the kettle on boil, let the water boiled, and put tea bag in mug. So that's how a tea is prepared, and steps of making tea is represented using the nonverbal data in flowchart. This is one of the ways of communicating the information, and this is what a flowchart looks like. Well, so far we are done with why nonverbal data and advertisements are used in order to communicate information. What is the reason for using nonverbal data and advertisements in order to communicate information? So why is answered, and we have also learned what. What is what? Of course, what a pie chart is, what a bar graph is, what a flow chart is, what a tree diagram is, and so what do they basically mean is understood till now. Now let us try to understand how. How in the sense, as I said in the very beginning of this class, could be in my second slide. How is, let's understand how pie chart, bar graph, table, tree diagrams, and flow chart should be answered in the exam. So from now, we'll be focusing on how these areas should be answered, dealt in the exam, in order to get complete marks, full marks, in order to gain full marks in these areas. So it will be like repeating what all have already been discussed, but we haven't done them, we haven't seen them, we haven't discussed them so far in examination point of view. That is the only difference you could find it out. uh, See the pie chart. We have taken a pie chart, how it is given in examination and how it should be answered by the students is discussed here. So this pie chart, see, in my previous classes we dealt something like this, which is actually reading comprehension. So while I was teaching reading comprehension, I suggested students to read the questions first, not the text. So questions should be read first, followed by that text should be read. So that was the suggestion given to the students uh, in connection with reading comprehension. So this is entirely different. I don't advise the same strategy. I don't suggest the same strategy to be applied here. Here we should not read the questions first. We should look into the picture completely. We should thoroughly look into the picture, and we should understand each and every detail mentioned in the picture, and after that only we should go for the questions. See, so this pie chart basically talks about dream destination of students. Each word could be an answer, each number could be an answer, each area will help you to answer the questions followed by the picture. So you should understand each and every point mentioned in the picture very clearly. So remember the title talks about dream destination of the students. So in the sense, after their education, or maybe in order to study greater degrees, or for their higher studies, where the students are willing to go, or where the students are willing to go and get settled, could be for job or could be for higher studies. So that is what a survey done by a particular team of people, unit of people, and this is the information prepared by that team. So there are four countries chosen by the students. They are USA, England, UAE, and Australia. These are the four countries chosen by the students, and we are going to learn comparatively which country was chosen more when compared to the other countries. So this will be understood based on the percentages. So USA has 35%. 35% of students are dreaming to get settled or to study in abroad, like that is USA, and 30% of students are willing to go to England, whereas 20% of students are uh, willing to fly to UAE, and the final one is 15% of students are willing to desiring to go to Australia. So this is what the pie chart basically means. So we have the numerical data and the other basic information from the pie chart. Let's try to understand, let's try to answer these questions followed by the picture. What does the pie chart show? So the title of the pie chart could be the answer for these questions. Of course it is. So what is it? The pie chart shows the dream different dream destination of the students. So this could be the answer. And which countries were chosen as dream destination by the students? So you can see the four countries there. What are they? USA, England, UAE, and Australia. So USA, England, UAE, Australia were chosen by the students as their dream destination. Is an answer. And the third question, which is the most preferred country? Which is the most, in the sense you should go for the highest percentage, uh, the country which has the highest percentage. That could be the answer for this question. So which is the most preferred country? You can see there. Yes, USA. USA has 35 percentage, whereas the other have whereas the other have 30, 20, and 15. So 35% USA is the most preferred country by the student, which is the least preferred country. So this is comparatively some information is learned here. Least in the sense you should go for the least number of percentage. That what is that? Australia. And the next one is what is the difference between there will as far as I know, surely there will be a question like fifth one in non-verbal data. So students need to be prepared to answer all these questions. What is the difference in percentage between those who preferred USA and those who preferred Australia? See the percentages of USA and Australia. USA has 35, Australia has 15. What is the difference? Yes, 20%. 20% is the difference between Australia and USA. Some students wanted to visit China. So this is a true or false question. Let us check how many countries we have. 4. What are they? USA, England, UAE, Australia. Do we have China in the list? No. So this is a false statement. False is the answer. So this is how a pie chart needs to be answered, dealt in the examination. Now we'll try to understand what a bar graph and how bar graph should be answered in the question in the examination. So here is the example. This bar graph talks about ratings of colleges. Of course, this is also a survey done by a department. Could be a private survey or a government survey. And this survey was done in order to decide the quality of the colleges in a particular town. And in order to decide the quality of, in order to give the rating to the colleges, they have chosen 3 criteria. What are the 3 criteria? See, you can see here, quality of teaching has been chosen as one of the criteria in order to rate a college, and infrastructure of the college is one of the criteria, and the other is caliber of students. That means talent of students, knowledge of students is also considered as one of the criteria in order to give rating to the colleges. So here we have 3 colleges have been chosen in a town, and 3 colleges were given rating for the 3 criteria. So we'll be understanding. Let us understand the picture first. College A 40. I think it is, yes, 50 and 40 again. College A has 40, 50, 40. So here you need to understand something. The thickest color pole talks about quality of teaching, and the next color, lighter, compared to the thickest one, first one, talks about caliber of students, and completely the lighter one talks about the lightest pole. The completely lightest pole talks about infrastructure in the college. So based on that, the first pole of college talks about quality of teaching. So out of 100, its rating is 40 for quality of teaching, and for infrastructure its rating is 50. For caliber of students, its rating is 40 again. So that is how the bar graph needs to be understood. So same with college B and same with college C. Now let us try to answer the questions. Right, what does the bar graph talks about? It talks about the ratings of the colleges in connection with quality of teaching, infrastructure, and caliber of students. What were the 3 criteria on which the ratings were done? Just culture and caliber of students are the 3 criteria. And which was the best college in terms of teaching? So we need to see the thickest line, because best in the sense in quality of teaching, what is the thickest line? So we need to see the thickest line, which is the tallest one. So college A has 40, college B has 75 around, college C has only 45, 50. So 40, 50, and 70. So college B is the best college in terms of teaching. And which college had the best infrastructure? Which college had the best infrastructure? We need to see the complete lightest pole, which is the tallest one. College A has 50, college B has 40, college C has 70, 80 it seems like. So college C has the best infrastructure. Which college had almost the same ratings on all three criteria? This is one of the questions given here, and might not be answered by all students. So this makes the difference. So we need to see the polls of each college which have least ups and downs. So that is the answer for it. See, college B, there are quality of teaching is completely high, infrastructure is completely low, and caliber of students is a little higher than infrastructure. Whereas college C, again ups and downs. So the least ups and downs are seen in college A. College A is the answer. Four colleges were compared. Four? No. College A, B, C. Only three were compared. So the statement is false. So this is in connection with the tables. So this table talks about a particular train number 12697, Trivandrum Express, runs on Sunday from starting station. So this table, as it was discussed in this table slide in previous slides, so table basically contains columns. Rows are also there, but lines were not given. You could consider the rows being there. So station name, code, arrival, departure, arrival or departure. Station name. So train. Station name. There are several stations around 12 stations were given, 15 stations were given. So code of each station and arrival or departure time in that particular station is given here. Now let us try to understand 2 to 3. Chennai Central. So starting point is Chennai Central, and the railway code for the Chennai Central station is MAS. And at 3:15, the train starts in Chennai Station, Chennai Central. If you take Kottayam, see Kottayam's code is KTYM, and in that station the train moves at 3:20. So this is how the table communicate the information of a particular train and its stations, it halting stations and codes of those particular stations and arrival timings in that particular stations is communicated in this tabular form of nonverbal data. Now let's try to answer the questions followed by the table. Write the name and number of the train. What is the name and number of the train? Yes, Trivandrum Express is the name and number is 12697. On which days does the train run? On which days does the train run? You can see it, you can find the answer there. Sundays. What is the destination of the train? The last station name could be the answer for this question. What is Thiruvananthapuram Central is the last destination. What is the railway code of Kottayam? Kottayam is there, fifth one from the down, and its code is KTYM. And how long does the journey from Ernakulam to Kilon take? So this question particularly talks about the duration. that is taken between from Ernakulam to Kilon. See Ernakulam, where is here it is Ernakulam, its code is ERN, and train moves at 2:05. So in Ernakulam the train moves at 2:05 and it reaches Kilon at 5:05. So how many hours does it take? 3. The code of Palghat is PLT. Let us check. True or false question it is. Is it PLT in the table? See, where is Palghat? Right, here it is. The 5th one. Palghat PGT. Oh, they have taken our code. Right. The statement says the code is PLT, but actually it is PGT. So the statement is false. So this is how a table should be understood and the question should be answered in the exam. This is what a table is. Let's move to the next slide. This is a flow chart. A flow chart, as it was discussed in the beginning slides. Flowchart generally talks about sequence of actions in order to teach the process of doing something. Yes, what is the process of doing something in this flowchart? Of course, booking a railway ticket. How a railway ticket should be booked is taught in this flowchart. So let us read all the steps, sequence of actions in order to book a railway ticket. Quickly, let's have a look. First step is go to the railway station reservation complex and take a reservation form. Next step is check the availability of berths at the inquiry counter or at the computer monitors. Fill in the relevant details such as train number and name, date of journey, boarding station and destination, class, berths, and details of passengers. So this information need to be filled. And the next step, stand in the line and hand over the filled in form to the clerk behind the counter. To the clerk behind the counter, the form should be handed over. And the next step is pay the required amount and take the ticket issued by the clerk. So this is the sequence of actions. This is the process of booking a railway ticket. So this is what is taught with the help of flowchart. So there are other issues which can also be dealt with the help of a flowchart. It can also be learned with the help of a flowchart. Let's try to answer the following questions. What does the flowchart talks about? Title can be the answer. The flowchart talks about how booking of a railway ticket should be done. How many types of how many steps have been shown in the diagram? You could count. If you count the boxes, the number of boxes, the total number of boxes will be the answer for the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five steps have been shown in the diagram. To which part of the station complex if you want to book a ticket? So for this in right. So this is how flowchart need to be dealt. Flowchart, we need to go behind stand in the line and hand over the filled in form. Go to form to the clerk behind the counter. You need to go to the behind the counter. To whom should we make the payment for the ticket? Pay the required amount and take the ticket issued by the clerk. We need to pay the amount to the clerk. So this is what a flowchart talks about, and this is how a flowchart should be answered in the examinations. So far we have understood only pie chart, flowchart, tree diagram, table, and bar graph. Let's try to learn something in connection with understanding advertisements. Advertisement, a notice or an announcement in a public medium promoting a product, service, or an event, or publicizing a job vacancy. So advertisement is basically a notice or an announcement in public medium in order to promote a product or an item or a service or an event, or in order to show a job vacancy. This is what an advertisement basically means. So why? So why is an advertisement is given? An advertisement is used to draw the instant attention of its reader towards product, information, services, or ideas. So this is the basic target of using advertisement. It is to draw the instant attention of its reader towards product, information, services, or ideas. So did it drag? Did it draw your attention? It does. So this is an example for an advertisement. And the next one is, so this advertisement is taken from the textbook. So this is in order to answer the following questions, you need to understand the advertisement thoroughly. For each question, you will find answers in the advertisement only. Expand BBBP. So the title itself, what is it? Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Which government started this program? The first line in the top left corner, NDA government has started this program. Why was the campaign launched in Haryana? You can see the answer here. The state with the lowest sex ratio. Haryana is the state with lowest sex ratio. This advertisement talks about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and this program was started by government in Haryana. Why started there only in that state? Because that is the state which has least sex ratio, lowest sex ratio. That is why, in order to promote this program, it was started there. And when was the program inaugurated? The date you can see 22nd Jan 2015. So this is how you find answers for questions in the advertisement only, the very easiest area in order to gain complete marks. And who inaugurated the program? All are factual questions. You find every answer in the advertisement only. Who? The Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has inaugurated this program. And the first objective suggests that, see, prevention of gender biased sex selective elimination. So that is that in order to prevent that, this program has been chosen. Yes, the statement says true. It is a true. So this is another advertisement, for example, Swachh
Ranjit, sir.
Bharat. So this is how an advertisement looks like.
Ranjit, sir.
Sir, closing, sir. Done. You can see it on the screen. So this is what all nonverbal data and advertisement are, and this is how we need to understand nonverbal data and advertisements, and this is how we need to deal with the discussed areas in slides to be answered to be focused to learn in order to